Does he want to marry me? Is he looking for a bride? And what it boils down to, what are the signs he wants to marry you? Of course, it may have been easier in the past when suitors declared their intentions to you, but in the intervening decades of dating and romantic love, when we have started prioritizing love over arrangements and suitable matches, it has become trickier. Now, the emotions and intentions of both men and women have grown a bit murkier, caught up in the complex web of romance. So how can you tell if a guy wants to get married, and in particular, married to you? I am all about honesty. I think it's silly for two grown people not to be open and forthright about their feelings and intentions toward one another. If you are wondering about how to know if he wants to marry you, whether that's soon or someday, the best thing you can do is ask him. I'm not suggesting you ask him on the second date or even a few months into the relationship, but after a couple of years together, it's totally okay to ask a straightforward, why not get back to being clear about intentions. But if you're not quite ready to do that, if you are still seeking clues about his feelings for you, then let this video help you out. If he's moving toward a proposal, here are a handful of clear, likely hints that you are the one he wants to get married to. One of the major indications that he wants to marry you in the future is when he's very comfortable with talking about future. It probably will come as no shock that a man who regularly avoids discussion of future intentions is not a man who is concerned with making long-term plans. In fact, if he routinely avoids conversations about the future, he may be far from ready for marriage. But a dude who is planning to pop the question, or at least considering the possibility of it in the future, isn't shy about talking about his hopes, dreams, and plans. This doesn't necessarily mean that he talks directly about marriage, weddings, and babies, especially in an early part of a relationship, but if he talks about ideas for a future that include you, that's a great sign. As long as he shows you you are a key character in these plans for the future, this is an excellent sign that he may be in it for the long haul. He frequently uses we more than me. Not only should your man talk about a future with you in it, but he should also be focusing on the present with you too. Does he talk more about we or of his life than the me? Is he self-focused or relationship-focused? One of the more telling signs that he wants to marry you is that he thinks of the two of you as a unit. Marriage is about commitment and becoming one with your partner, a unified front. A man that regularly emphasizes your partnership and your Venus is likely already viewing the two of you as a united force. This man is probably a lot closer to being ready for marriage, and it is highly likely you are the one he plans to pursue it with. You are a major factor in his decision making. Speaking of existing as we, a significant clue of your relationship status is how your partner thinks of you when making decisions. Does your man consult with you when making a big decision? Does he trust and value your opinion? Does he look to see how choices he makes will affect you? Perhaps the two of you already feel like a family. There are significant indicators that you have a vital place of importance in his life and that he's already thinking of things that are applying to you both. If he never consults you or regularly makes major life decisions without talking to you, this could be a sign that he's still living in a bachelor mentality, focusing primarily on his own wants and needs. You've met his family. Topping any list of signs a man wants to marry you someday is this tidbit. He has introduced you to his family. While this is not a sure sign of intended matrimony, particularly if a guy is simply close with his family, it's still a really good sign. In fact, if the two of you have been together for a significant time and you haven't met his family, this could be problematic. A man who introduces you to the important people in his life is letting you know that you are important to him too, and that he wants to show you off to the people who matter, like his family and friends. This can also indicate that he wants their opinion on his potential future mate. He regularly makes sacrifices for you. Does your partner frequently put you first? Does he make sacrifices big and small for you, letting you choose the restaurant, accompanying you to an event he is not thrilled about, or putting aside something important to him just for you? These sacrifices and the ability to compromise and get along tell a great deal about your potential spouse, indicating that not only may he be ready for marriage, but that he's got the makings of a great husband as well. He is ready in other areas of his life. One of the reasons men sometimes hesitate to take that next step and propose is that they are not where they want to be in life yet. So if your man is just starting out in his career or is constantly worried about the amount of money or lack thereof is in his bank account, marriage may not be the first thing on his mind. From his perspective, he is still trying to get his life together. A better sign of an impending engagement is when your guy seems like he is doing well in his career and is fairly secure financially. Hopefully, he is communicative about these areas of his life and you know pretty well that his situation is. Consistency is more telling of a chemistry when it comes to long-term love. Therapist Cynthia Catchings says, consistency is a combination of behaviors that include dependability, trust, and true desire to have a companion and form a serious relationship. People who are more consistent with their interactions with one another, such as having predictable behaviors and good communication, have longer and more successful relationships. Is your dude consistent in the way he acts towards you? What about in general? Is he a dependable person who says what he's going to do and then does it? It's his typical day-to-day behavior, expected and familiar. These are all good signals, and what is especially important is his consistency in his treatment of you. You have talked about marriage. Okay, this may be a no-brainer. Have you two already discussed marriage? Was it a positive conversation? Did you feel like you were on the same page and that your desires are in alignment? If you are wondering, will he marry me, but you have never had a conversation about the topic, now might be the time. By the way, it is totally okay if your partner doesn't feel gung-ho about marriage right away. My husband had a lot of anxiety and hesitation when it came to the lifelong commitment of marriage, and unsurprisingly, a whole lot of us do. So our first marriage talks were tentative, but I could see that he wasn't opposed to marriage and that he considered it a major deal. He took the commitment and decision of marriage extremely seriously, and that to me was a really important sign. P.S. If you are with an amazing person who loves you and is committed to you, it can be worth being patient and understanding if they are not quite ready for marriage. He has friends or close family members who are married. Fascinatingly, many relationship experts agree that one of the top signs he will marry you is if he already has married friends. This can also apply if he has a married family member around the same age, like a cousin or a brother. On an obvious level, this could be because your partner sees other men he knows getting married, and it makes the concept of marriage less scary and unknown. On a scientific level, your guy might be noticing that his married mates are happier and healthier. Research demonstrates that married men are healthier and live longer than their unmarried counterparts. This may be something he soon discovers he wants for himself. So if you have been attending lots of the weddings of family and friends together, chances are your boyfriend might be inching closer to matrimony. He supports you through difficult situations. Finally, a man may be looking to marry you if he has demonstrated his ability to be there for you in tough times. That's not just a good sign, but a great one. Getting through hard times together connects you in immeasurable ways. Plus, if you and he have hard times in your relationship and have gotten through stronger, this shows real dedication to the relationship overall. These are all positive signs that you have met the right person and that they are probably keen on a long-term commitment. Of course, a kind and loving partner may simply not be interested in marriage, and in that case, a good old-fashioned discussion needs to take place so the two of you know where you stand. But in many cases, a man who has been treating you right and with devotion and commitment is in it for the long haul and is one who wants to marry you. What if he doesn't want to marry you or doesn't want to get married at all? Okay, so what if you are at a crossroads? You have discovered that the man you are with doesn't intend to pursue matrimony either with you or with any person. So what do you do? First, make sure you have genuinely had an open discussion together about whether or not he wants to get married. You need to hear directly from him what his thoughts on matrimony and commitment are. Don't just go by this list of signs. They are only indicators and do not constitute proof. But once you know for certain where he stands, you get to make your decision. Make the decision that is best for you and for your future. This is super hard and it will involve being completely honest with yourself. You need to take a good solid look at what you really want and need from a relationship. Is marriage important to you? Have you always dreamed of getting married? No matter how much you love someone, if this type of commitment matters deeply to you, it is something you should not disregard. Or maybe in your mind, getting married just equates to a piece of paper and it doesn't change how you feel about each other. That is totally okay too. If you are comfortable with that, great. Whatever you decide, make sure that you are paying attention to your true needs and acting in alignment with your personal values. That was it for today's video. I hope you liked it and that you will give me a like and subscribe to my channel to help me out. Thank you for that. And I do have to mention a disclaimer. I'm not a love therapist or anything like that. I just love the subject of love and relationships. And I hope that my words will be in some way an advice or maybe a suggestion of how you should do in your relationship, but not at all something that you should take as written advice or a proof of anything. So again, thank you for watching. I hope I helped in any way to you, and I will see you in the next video.